Happy Friday morning, everybody. I'm back in Arnold, Missouri, home of the big one. Okay, so you all deserve to know about my health. It's your business. I think I'm going to go the opposite way. Instead of keeping my health private and not wanting people to know anything about me, I think I'm going to tell you the update on my health because I think it can help people. So, well, let me see. It's little. What is it? 7 o'clock, 7:10, something like that. The seats, there's dew on the seats. So I'm gonna find a place to sit. Maybe not. All right. So I went to the Mayo Clinic because I wanted to get a full physical. And in the meanwhile, I felt like I had food kind of getting stuck, having a hard time with food going down my esophagus. In the meanwhile, I had everybody calling me. And of course, everybody, gets roughed up physically and they want to share their story with me. Hey, Herman, it's this. Hey, Herman, here's what's wrong with you. And I want to tell you all that I appreciate you all being so nice to me and letting me know, what you think was wrong with me. You all were very nice because you all were saying, here's what's wrong with you. And there was 500 different reasons, that you were telling me there was something wrong with me. Remember, John Dotson said it's this coffee. John Dotson said it's that 2 cups of coffee you drink every day. So the doctor said, the GI doctor at the Mayo Clinic, he said it's a 50-year-old myth that coffee is bad for you. He said it actually works as a laxative. Now, I know that we all know that, but I'm just saying you the best GI doctor in the world said that coffee being bad for you is a myth. But hold on. He said everybody's different. Everybody's different. But how much coffee I drink is highly exaggerated. I drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning, okay? And I show you my coffee every morning. I've done a video on what kind of coffee I drink. I drink 2 cups of coffee in the mornings, and that's it. I don't drink coffee at noon. I don't drink coffee all day long. I drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and that's that. So the doctor said, he literally said that 50-year-old myth is false. So that was from the GI doctor at the world's greatest hospital. He said, Kenny, we have stuck a camera down your throat. We have stuck a camera up your ass. You've had an endoscopy. You've had a colonoscopy. And he said, you don't have anything wrong with you. The colonoscopy, there was one little polyp. They checked it. It was just nothing. It was benign. Now that's my business, and I told you. Okay? They stuck the camera down my throat, and like I told you yesterday, he says, you got to think about it. The camera went down your throat. Says, looks good. As far as something getting stuck down your throat there, he said, let's try this, okay? He says, when you wake up every morning, let's fix this pooping and this sensation where, you feel like you got something stuck. Here's the final synopsis. He says, here's what we're going to do. He says, number one, he says, that is a myth about Marilax. It does not take anything, does not strip anything away from your colon. That is a myth. Marilax is awesome. He says, actually, what Marilax does is it adds liquid to your colon. Actually makes your colon wet, doesn't strip it from bacterial. All this is a myth. They've been taking Marilex for over 20 years. And the reason it says only take it 7 days is because they don't want you to treat yourself and then you have something else wrong with you. So in other words, they don't want you going to the grocery store, buying Marilex, taking it, and there's something being wrong with you. What they're saying is if you take Marilex, after 7 days and you still can't poop, maybe there's something else wrong with you. He says, think about it this way. He says they give you Marilex in a tub, way more than 7 days worth, right? And he says somebody like, those businesses, he said, although over in Europe, they don't want you to take a capsule because they eat better. They're way healthier in other parts of the country like Europe. Over here, we're the most unhealthiest people. We eat so much processed food that people over here are fat and bloated. And so they're always wanting to take drugs to make them feel better. He says, you take that Marilex every damn morning for the rest of your life. Nobody made fun of the old people when they take Metamucil, did they? You remember old mom and dad used to take Metamucil and we're like, oh, they're taking Metamucil. Nobody said, oh, don't take Metamucil. So Marilex is good. It makes your colon wet. It makes the poop go down. It's the same thing they use when you get a colonoscopy. So we're going to wake up every morning. We're going to drink our 2 cups of coffee. We're going to do the Marilex. And we're also going to take one of those Aligns. He says, I don't believe in probiotics, but Procter & Gamble makes a good, if you want to take a probiotic, like a line, that's the one that I would do. He said it's made by Procter & Gamble. They usually don't have any oversight on probiotics. And probiotics are kind of on an island by themselves. There's no rules and regulations over probiotics. But here's the big change. I want you to go bat crazy on fiber and vegetables. He says, let's start eating fruits in the morning. Let's go, bananas, apples, pears, fruits. There's an old saying, that Mediterranean diet. He goes, I don't like that name, Mediterranean. Now, my GI doctor didn't say that, but my doctor said that. And we're going to get to my arteries here in a minute. But Mediterranean diet, anything that comes out of the ground, okay? I was going to say cows were not meant to be killed and we ate that. The Mediterranean diet is anything God made that came out of the ground. So what we're going to change, and my Dave's bread, he'd like to see more fiber. So he found me a new bread. So in the morning, my new routine, 2 cups of coffee, Align, Marilex. Let's get some more fiber in the bread. Let's eat some, bananas, apples, pears. Maybe cut it up myself. I'll cut it up myself. And we're going to give it a go and keep my colon, keep my poop going. And we felt like maybe here it is. We feel like the reason I was hurting right here is I'm full of shit. So we feel like that's it. Just the poop backing up. Now, I went up there to have my arteries checked out because my whole family has died of clogged up arteries. My dad had a heart attack. Remember, my Uncle Gary got airlifted out of a national park years ago. My brother Mike had his chest cut open. As far as that goes, we did an EKG, we did a stress test, and we did a plaque buildup test. We did not do an intrusive cardiac cath. We did not do a cardiac cath. We did not put dye through my arteries. They got better ways, Now, if you've had heart attacks and you're already screwed up, then that's okay. But let's check Kenny out. They checked me out 3 different ways. Just a simple everyday EKG, and then the stress test, which I just ran, and I was average. I was disappointed. I was only average. When they put me in the tube and they did the, the test where they, do imaging, my left main, very minimal plaque buildup. But he said, I'm very happy that you're already taking 20 milligram pravastatin. And what I liked what he said, I'm going to let you know in July if we're going to up that pravastatin to 40 milligram. He says, we have the ability to get rid of that little bitty plaque buildup in that left main. He said, what I want you to do, he said, what do you do for physical activity? I said, man, I dig hard. I'm very active. He looked at me, he goes, I hear that all the time. People trying to convince themselves that they're okay because they're active. Now, I used to make fun of people that run all the time. I'm like, man, where are they running from, A lot of us are lazy. He said, I want you to walk 20 minutes every day that you can. He said, something that's continuous. So what I'll do is I'll start walking 20 minutes every day, but it's got to be continuous. He said, you walk 20 minutes every day. Let me get back to you. About that pill. He said, I'm going to get a little more advice from our 5,000 doctors. 5,000 doctors he's going to reach out to somebody that he thinks pretty smart too. He says he wants to make sure that if he ups do we keep you on the 20 milligram pravastatin or do we up it? And if we up it, does it make my joints hurt? In other words, right now, the 20 milligram pravastatin, I don't even know I'm taking it. He says, I'm glad you're taking it. He says, but let's work a little bit harder. And he says, remember this, everybody, which I already knew this, and we all know this. Liquor, beer is a neural killer. He said, I'm so happy you don't drink anymore. He said, it's simply drinking, just kills your brain. Neural means brain. Drinking is super bad for you. And I said, and then you go back to my GI doctor and he says, listen, everybody's different. Somebody can drink beer their whole life, don't bother them at all. He says, but it's not good for you. My hearing, there is hearing loss, but they said, you don't need hearing aids yet. It's just, Kenny, myself, I don't hear soft-spoken people that are talking. When somebody goes like this, hey, Kenny, what you doing? And they're a football field away, I don't have supersonic hearing, okay? It's kind of like you probably don't have 20/20 vision either more, do you? You might not have 20/20 vision. Well, none of us, when we get to be this age, we don't have 20/20 vision. Of course, I can see pretty good. But as far as hearing, I hear good. I just don't hear great. And they did like 3 tests on my hearing. I mean, they went all out on my hearing. I don't know why, but they just offered it, and I said, let's do it. My teeth, my daughter, I got great dental hygienists. They did a full physical on me. Besides my arteries, besides my GI tract, they did that full physical, stuck their finger up my ass, squeezed my balls, did that whole deal. Now remember, I gave you my physical update because you won't. And we all know my business is your business. You deserve to know about my health. That HIPAA law is real. A lot of people don't want you to know about them. And I understand that. But me, I'm letting you know because I said I'm going there. And if I don't respond, it'll be another Jughead deal. What's wrong with Jughead? We gave Jughead money. Why didn't you update us about Jughead? I'm like, there's HIPAA laws, everybody. Let Jughead tell you what's wrong with him. But I told you time after time, Jughead's cured. He's in great shape. I told you all my business. Now, you respond right here and tell me how up the world's greatest doctors are. I had to get you one time because I know you know everything. Oh, damn, all right. Herman's coming back. Herminator got a little soft 2 days while he was up at the hospital. I like salty Herman. You know everything. Tell me everything. Have a great Friday.